we're back broadcasting live in the Toms River Auto Group studio right here in Northfield. It's Billy Schweim with the Locker Room Youth Movement. Intern Andrew Lee Ryan. It's July 2nd, boys, and the summer is officially here. Of course, it's 4th of July weekend, and we're proud to be an American. I love that song, Proud to be an American, but last night I getting into bed, you hear fireworks going off on the beach and everything. People are out on their porches celebrating. I love this time of year.
Yeah. I mean, beautiful weather. A little hot, but it is beautiful out.
Not hot enough, man. I like it hot.
I do too. And if you could see on the StreamYard right now, if you're tuning in, got a nice little sunburn that's creeping under my title.
Looks like a truck driver's tan.
I look like Larry the Lobster right now. It's brutal.
All right, guys. A couple weeks ago, we had my next guest that's coming up. We had him on a few weeks ago to talk about his father, Hall of Fame baseball player Yogi Berra, about the movie out, It Ain't Over. Of course, Yogi Berra is just, we went over his accomplishments. I don't think some of his records will ever be broken. But then after the show, we spoke with Dale Berra. Then after the show, Dale contacted me, and he said, listen, I know there's like an elephant in the room. Like, there was things about his career that we didn't talk about. He said, hey, listen, if you want to talk about him, I really appreciate it if you want to do a show on it. So I thought, you know what? 4th of July, we'll get him on it. 4th of July weekend. So let's go to the Maserati, the Mainline Sports Hotline, and welcome baseball player, son of Hall of Fame catcher Yogi Berra. Let's welcome in Dale Berra. Good morning, Dale.
Hey, good morning, Billy. How are you, kid?
Right.
Happy 4th of July, everybody.
Hey, man, happy 4th of July. Dale, I tell you what, I really admire you, and I really appreciate you. When you text me back, obviously, I'm reading when I prepare for a show, you read things in preparation, and obviously I would never bring that up. But when you contacted me and said, hey, let's talk about this, I thought about it. I said, you know what? This is probably a valuable story to talk about for the youngsters that are coming up, young players that are coming up. And they get, there's a lot of people that are pulling at you as a major league player in many different directions, influences, and you saw it all firsthand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, Dale, during the 80s, late 70s, early 80s, you were leading all shortstops and home runs. And then in 1984, I guess you went to a party and people brought paint around and you got involved in that. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's just absurdity, the stupidest decision that I ever made in my life, especially a kid who, I didn't realize it at the time, but I had an addictive personality. Whatever you had, I need 3 times as much as, and I played sports my whole life with just a competitive attitude. Played hockey, football, baseball, never missed a game. I was an all-out person, and anything that I liked, I would abuse. And that's just, I still do, only I just don't do drugs anymore. But I abuse golf, I abuse watching football on TV, I abuse hockey. But, I just made the dumbest choice in my entire life. And I have no excuses for it. Myself, no sympathy. I sabotaged a career. I think I could have been an all-star shortstop. But, I earned the status of a regular player, which is a great honor in baseball. If the manager tells you you don't have to look at the lineup card, you're in there every day. I had that for 3 years in Pittsburgh, playing 150 games, 160 games, 159 games. And I threw it away, and I have to live with that. I have to live with it, but I manage it because I have to be a great father. I have to be a great family man. I have to help my fellow man, and I have to, I have to just live my life right, and I'm good with it.
Well, and I got to tell you, back in the late 70s, 80s, you had a team of Lee Lacy, Lee Mazzilli, Dave Parker, and then, of course, Willie Aikens, Vida Blue, all these guys, Keith Hernandez, Tim Raines, Lonnie Smith, Alan Wade. You're talking about big names, and drugs were a big part of baseball back then. And it wasn't just cocaine; it was like speed and everything, right?
Absolutely. I mean, hey, I was part of an era. I have to admit. You asked about that party I went to. I mean, these are my high school friends.
Right.
I go back to my hometown and my high school friends. I always look forward to going back home after the season. And I go to a party, and all my friends are in the bathroom at one time. I mean, what are they doing in there? Why are
Right.
3 and 4 guys walking out of a bathroom after being in there for 5 minutes? I'd never seen that. What are you guys doing? No, Dale, you don't want to know. You don't want to. You stay away from what? Stay away from what? And they told me what was happening. Obviously, it started to take hold around the league. A lot of players were doing it. I just couldn't control it.
Yeah, but
Those players
Dale,
that you talked
excuse
about,
me.
many of them did.
Dale, it wasn't exclusive to the Pirates. I mean, like Darryl Strawberry.
Oh, it was everywhere.
Yeah,
Believe me.
Yeah.
I'll name no names, but I partied with many, many, many people
Right.
that I won't name names. I partied with guys on every single team. We would talk about. You could go to any town you wanted to, and there was 5 or 6 guys on every team. You'd say, hey, where's the best place? Where can I do? Whatever. We talked about it all the time. We met. We partied. We did everything together.
We're talking with former Major League Baseball player Dale Berra, the son of Hall of Fame catcher Yogi Berra. Dale, also you told me that if it wasn't for your father and your family, you'd probably be dead. They literally saved your life. And I know your father was extremely disappointed. I mean, if it wasn't for your father, you wouldn't be around.
Yeah. My dad was so secure with his own self and with his own legacy. He didn't take my abuse of drugs personally. He only cared about me, which was just something that he did innately. I remember when I got arrested, after I was out of baseball, my dad was coaching with the Houston Astros, and he flew home after my arrest, and I didn't deserve anything else but, what the hell are you doing to our family name? What are you doing to my name? Were you embarrassing our family? The man walked in, put his arm around me and said, "You're going to be all right, kid. I'll be here for you." Now, come on.
Yeah.
This is a guy who knew about the trials a couple of years earlier. I promised him that I would not abuse drugs, and he believed me, trusted me. And he always trusted me. But there was a last straw. The straw was wind. This is a year after that incident when I got arrested. There was wind from my brothers caught wind of me still partying and having an incident at a party. And he had finally had enough. And he called me home, and he simply told me in front of my mom and 2 brothers that you have to make a decision, and it's got to be right now. You either choose your brothers to be your brothers, and you choose me as your father, and your mom in the kitchen, you have to choose her as your mom. Otherwise, if you don't make the right decision, they're no longer part of your life, and you're no longer a Berra as far as I'm concerned.
Wow. Yogi Berra saying that to you.
Within 3 seconds, I was hit by some kind of bolt of lightning, and family meant more to me. I knew right then and there that I was never going to do a drug or take another drink again. And I know that is a blessing that very, very few people have that, get that fortunate of a lightning bolt. It's a struggle for most people. I knew right then and there that I wouldn't have another drug or drink, and that was 30 years ago, and I haven't. And I believe it was a gift from God and family, and for sure.
And Dale, I'd like to think that was from your strong upbringing, your mom and dad's family values. I mean, not only was your dad an amazing baseball player, he was probably an amazing father. So was your mother.
A tremendous father. I did, going through some of my tribulations and trials. These therapists wanted to talk about bringing and possibly some parental things that might have made me feel inferior or want to use. You know what? Don't even go there.
Right.
Don't bother. I said, you couldn't have better parents than my mom and dad. My father was tremendous. My mom was tremendous. I have tremendous brothers. I said, that's got nothing to do with it. I said, you point the finger right at me.
Right.
That's it.
So, Dale, sometimes people say, I guess therapists or people in general say, that you were living under your father's shadow, and you just maybe needed to make a name for yourself. And instead of using baseball, which is what you really wanted to do, subconsciously you went to drugs.
Never felt that way in my life. Went through my entire high school years, little league years, minor league years, and professional years without one concern about who my dad was. People used to yell at me from the stands, "You'll never be as good as your old man." And I used to smile at him. And raise my thumb at him. They were expecting me to say, "Oh, go screw yourself," or something. I used to smile at him and raise my thumb, and they'd smile back at me because I had never felt that. The only pressure I ever felt was being a first-round draft pick, being in the big leagues before I was 20 years old. I spent only 2 years. I got drafted in June of 1975, and I was in the big leagues in 1977. I wasn't even old enough to drink. Wow. So, I went through the minor leagues, dominated the minor leagues that quickly. And I never felt 1 ounce of pressure being Yogi's son. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's because of the way he raised us.
We're talking with former Major League Baseball player Dale Berra. Dale, the FBI comes knocking at your door. That had to be pretty scary. I mean, it wasn't local police. I mean, it was the FBI, and you were implicated with a lot of people, and you had to come clean. But that was part of the healing process.
Yeah. Well, yeah. To be honest with you, I still did drugs after that. I mean, that was 1986. I think I was with the Yankees, or 85. I'm not sure exactly, but when those trials were. But yeah, I mean, that's just I live my life. It's literally a circus of justifications and inability to see yourself losing the incredible. You've been given a gift by God to be able to hit and throw and run, and when you abuse those gifts, they're taken from you. And I was too dumb to see that 1982 was my best year. 83 was not quite as good. 84, when after I started doing drugs, was an obviously I should be getting better, not worse. And I didn't see it. I never did drugs during. I never missed a game because of it. Never missed a flight. Never missed a train or a bus. So I'm okay. I told myself I was okay, and I believed it, but I wasn't.
Right.
Hey, Dale, you talked about how you thought you had really just destroyed your career and a lot of the stuff that was on the line for you had evaporated, but you really still, in the grand scheme of things, you were an MLB player of 10 years. You played a lot of games in Major League Baseball, so much so that you played more games than any son of a Hall of Famer, topping Dick Sisler with your 853 games played to his 799. You have a lot to live up to, being the son of Yogi Berra, but what was it like to say you were able to establish and complete a successful career, even with trials and all of the tribulations in the MLB?
Well, I appreciate that. I take solace in that, if that's the right word. I'm proud that I could play 10 years. I led the National League. Chuck Tanner, my manager, used to tell me, "You're the best eighth hitter in this entire league because I can put you up there with 2 outs and they will walk you. And I can have the pitcher get up there and we'll lead off with the leadoff man next inning." I was walked intentionally. I led the major leagues in intentional walks.
Is that right?
In 1983 as an eighth hitter.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that gets the pitcher up. That gets the pitcher up with 2 outs, and we lead off with the. We didn't walk Larry Bowa. I'm sorry. With 2 outs in the eighth, with 2 outs, eighth hitter up, we didn't walk Larry. We thought we could get him out. I got walked constantly because I could drive a run in from. I had. I drove in 50, 60 runs from the 8th slot. And, what can I say? I am proud of what I did accomplish, but I could have been a hell of a lot better, and I know it.
And you've clearly reached a stage where you look back and you regret what you've done, but you've kind of found a place of acceptance, it seems, with your past and your mistakes, and you own up to it. And I was just curious, what sort of advice would you give to somebody else who maybe they've made some mistakes of their past and they have a hard time kind of accepting what they've done and moving on past? What did you do to kind of reach this stage of acceptance?
Because it had to be hard now.
Exactly.
To overcome any drug addiction or alcoholism can't be easy. What did you do? How did you internalize that?
You know what? I'm such a maniac. I actually enjoyed this is crazy. I actually, the second I said I will never use a drug or drink again, I felt like a ball and chain was taken off my ankle, and I was free. Like, I love the fact that I can get into a car at midnight and speed and get pulled over by a cop, and does he say, do you have anything to drink, young man? No, hell no, I haven't. You know what? Can I search your car? You search this whole car. I could care. You know what they say? Go ahead. You're fine. Go ahead. I love that. I love that something happened to my kids, I would be there 100%. If something happened anywhere, that I was available, ready. I actually enjoy the fact that that I'm there mentally and physically for anything that comes up. And to me, it was fun and it's freeing. And that helped me a lot.
And Dale, you're raising 2 daughters of your own. Is that correct?
Yes, I am.
And that has to be like, having your father, like maybe, seeing what kind of father he was. I mean, you've obviously taken that knowledge and become a great father to your 2 daughters.
I try to. Of course I try to. But, I'm an old man. Younger woman, 8-year-old and a 16-year-old, and it's certainly a different world. I mean, most of the time when I'm giving my advice, it's like, you know what, that was 50 years ago, Dad. Get out, So, no, they listen to me when it comes down to the importance of the importance of family and the values that my dad taught me. Respect, humility, most importantly, respect, humility, gratefulness, and they certainly learned that from me.
Well, Dale, I got to tell you, man, I really appreciate you taking a few moments of your Sunday morning to come on and talk about your career and some of the choices that you make. But hopefully people can learn mistake and not get themselves in trouble as they, the young athletes progress through the, as they get older, choices, and hopefully they listen to you and learn.
Yep, there's a lot of kids out there. You know what? Your career, your life, your livelihood, not worth it. It's not worth it.
All right, Dale. Happy 4th of July weekend to you and your family.
Thank you, buddy.
I hope the movie's doing really well. Don't forget, it's in theaters. It Ain't Over. The story about Yogi Berra and his career. Dale, thank you so much, and God bless you. And we'll talk again.
Okay, and you can get over on now online too. So check it out, guys. Thanks, everybody.
Happy 4th of July, Dale.
Okay, thank you, guys.
There he is.